What is going on, Dodger fans? Dodgers 2-0 lead in the National League Championship Series over the Milwaukee Brewers. Hope everyone's doing well out there. You are listening to the Incline Dodgers podcast presented by Believe and TickPick. Kevin Klein speaking. I am joined by Nicholas Dougan. You can follow him on X at Nick Right, or no, it's Dodgers Dougan, but he goes by Nick Wright. It always throws me off. What a game by Yoshinobu Yamamoto. I mean, what is there to say about this guy? Absolutely dominant tonight. Did something that we have not seen by a Dodgers pitcher since Jose Lima all the way back in 2004, throwing a complete game. Yamamoto tonight gave up a leadoff home run to Jackson Chourio, and then that was it. He threw a complete game. Dodgers win 5-1. Absolute dominance tonight. Pass it over to you, Nick. What were your thoughts on Yamamoto today?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, Josh Reddick liked seeing that tonight, what Yamamoto did. But, yeah, he just continued what Blake Snell did as far as just getting the Brewers off balance with a lot of breaking balls and just taking advantage of them being way too aggressive, I think, at the plate. Yamamoto used that to his advantage tonight. And, yeah, I think there's a stat I saw that the Brewers haven't had a player with runners in scoring position against a starter this series against Blake Snell or Yamamoto. So I think that's just something that stood out to me. That's remarkable that, they haven't had anyone in runners in scoring position against either of the starters so far. So, yeah, I mean, Yamamoto's just continuing what Blake Snell did and, what the starters have been doing all postseason long, including Glasnow, who pitches game 3. I'm excited for that. So yeah, I mean, A+ start again from another starter tonight. Didn't even have to go to the bullpen. So yeah, I'm feeling great.
Appreciate the live audience tuning in. Hit that like button. And if you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe. We'll get to some questions and comments later on. But again, hit that like button. Yamamoto. Love that Dave Roberts, because we talked about it last night with Blake Snell. They pulled him out maybe an inning too early, and the bullpen was a little rocky. But tonight, Dave Roberts had full confidence in Yoshinobu Yamamoto going a complete game. Complete dominance. I mean, Jackson Chourio, leadoff home run. You can look at the Brewers' social media. They talked about Chourio hitting the home run, and then it was just dead silence. Then they posted the final score because they got rocked by the Los Angeles Dodgers. There's a little feedback, I think, on your end, Nick, if you can maybe turn the volume down or mute.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. Zach Sloan. I love how Max Muncy has been money since I badmouthed him on here. Max Muncy should have had a home run last night. He should have had a grand slam for that matter. A little bit of bad luck. Tonight, he crushes a ball to dead center, 412 feet, hit an absolute rocket. Max Muncy has had a great NLCS so far. That was some good revenge. I love that Muncy was able to get that home run. Shohei Ohtani, he broke out of his slump. He had a huge RBI base hit. Teoscar Hernandez kicked it off early in the game, tying it up when the Dodgers were down 1-0. Teoscar hit a solo home run. His was an absolute missile as well. He's got 4 home runs this postseason. Teoscar Hernandez only had 3 home runs all of last postseason, and he surpassed this year with 4 home runs. Making up for that little base running blunder yesterday. He took accountability earlier this afternoon before the game started, and he admitted he effed up. So happy to see Teoscar own that error, but he made up for it tonight. Andy Pages, we went into depth yesterday. Jake didn't want him batting 9th. I said keep him in the 9 hole, and he roped an RBI double. He put the Dodgers up 2-1. The Dodgers offense wasn't exactly firing on all cylinders, but 5 runs tonight against a good Brewers team with Freddie Peralta pitching. I can't complain. I'm happy.
Yeah, and I just want to add to that. Yeah, I mean, like Shohei Ohtani hasn't really had great at-bats still, although he did have an RBI single tonight, which was encouraging. But he's still chasing a little too much on, the outside pitches, the off-speed pitches from the lefties. So hopefully going back to LA, he'll be able to, turn it around and, have us clinch the World Series. So World Series spot, that would be great. But yeah, definitely in a great spot, commanding 2-0 lead. Just need to have the foot on the neck some more and take the fight out of them in game 3.
The Dodgers are in such a great position right now. I mean, they went up 2-0 in Philadelphia took care of the Phillies in 4. Now they're up 2-0 in Milwaukee, and they've got 3 opportunities to close this series out in Los Angeles, with Tyler Glasnow due up next in the rotation, and then Shohei Ohtani for a game 4. And then if there is a necessary game 5, well, then they'll go back to Blake Snell, who was absolutely dominant last night. This Dodgers Fantastic Four, as I've coined them now, is the greatest 1, 2, 3, 4 punch that we might be able to ever recollect in baseball history. I mean, we're not getting too far ahead of ourselves right now. You've got Blake Snell, who went 8 innings last night, shut out 10 strikeouts. Tonight, Yoshinobu Yamamoto throws a 1-run complete game. Even Clayton Kershaw and Zach Greinke never did that on back-to-back nights for the Dodgers in October. And you've got these 2 guys, Snell and Yamamoto, who are doing things that we have not probably seen since Sandy Koufax and Don Drysdale.
Yeah, I mean, I used to think, when it was Kershaw, Greinke, and Hyun-Jin Ryu, I used to think that trio was outstanding. But, like you said, just what these pitchers are doing now, these playoffs, is just on a whole nother level. Just from a talent standpoint, it'd be hard to argue, a better 4 that we've seen, at least in the last quarter century. So, yeah, I mean, I'm glad we're able to have them on our team, and, the way they're pitching, just got to keep it rolling, and hopefully the offense starts turning it up, especially with runners in scoring position.
You just know a pitcher is really on his game when you look at his secondary pitches in terms of amount of pitches thrown, and those led the way tonight. 34 splitters, 27 curveballs, and then 27 four-seam fast, 12 cutters, 9 sinkers, 2 sliders. He threw 6 different pitches tonight, and he essentially had command of all of them, because there was a good chunk in this game where Yoshinobu Yamamoto was completely efficient. I mean, I'm talking like 5th inning, he was in the 50 pitch range, 7th inning, 80 pitches or whatever. So that's why I don't think it was really ever a question mark of, can Yoshinobu Yamamoto close this out? Once we got to the 7th inning, I want to say, it felt like there was a really strong possibility that he could go the distance. And I think it's a huge break that the Dodgers bullpen gets the night off, because now they're going to game 3, still have not faced Alex Vesia, still have not faced Jack Dreyer, still have not faced Anthony Bonda. They have not faced Kasparius or Sheehan. So there are a lot of weapons in the Dodgers pen that the Brewers have not seen since you'd have to go back to early July.
Yeah, and then they haven't faced Robleski either. I mean, I know that he was added to the roster, so that's just another arm, if needed, that they haven't seen yet. So all of our high leverage relievers are available the next 2 games, and I fully expect that they'll be in there if needed to hopefully close the series out in a short 4 or 5 game series.
So Yamamoto, Snell, they've covered now 17 of the possible 18 innings, which I just think is absolutely remarkable. Credit to these 2 starters, absolutely stepping it up. They're just a dynamite 1-2 punch right now. And then you've got Tyler Glasnow and Shohei Ohtani, who are on deck. And I'm just excited to see what they're about to roll out in their starts. I almost feel like this is friendly competition where each of these Dodger starters want to one-up each other. But my God, I am absolutely stoked for the next few games. Encouraging people in the chat, if you have questions for us, drop a comment, drop a question. We'll get to you guys' questions. I'll pass it back over to Nick. Anything you want to talk about in particular?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say that, should we advance to the World Series, it's looking like it's probably going to be the Mariners, and, they have some damn good pitchers on their team too. So I think that would be one hell of a World Series matchup if that's the case. Looks like Seattle's taking care of business too, and they're in the same spot, going back home up 2-0. So if it's Dodgers Mariners, I would definitely be excited for that. And yeah, I mean, if both teams do the job, I think we'll see that, probably within a week. But I think both teams will get a lot of rest if they both end the series shortly, if I'm not mistaken. So, both teams will be well rested if that's the case.
We do have some questions about the Mariners. We'll talk about that a little bit. Still want to focus on the NLCS because the job is not finished by any stretch. Dodgers now 7-1 since shoving Michael Conforto to the sidelines. I think there's a strong correlation there. No Tanner Scott, no Michael Conforto. All of a sudden, this team is 7-1. I think that's a strong hint right there. Do not bring back Michael Conforto for 2026. Just going to say.
Yeah, I think the days with him are done. He was able to be in the lineup pretty much every day, which I found perplexing. But yeah, he was there for a year. We won't need him anymore. But best of luck to him moving forward. So, yeah, Dodgers are rolling.
Dodgers absolutely are rolling. I mean, the fact that the Dodgers starting pitching has just been able to kind of save us from these headaches and heartaches that the bullpen has caused us throughout the season, I think is just absolutely massive. More credit, though, to Max Muncy. It'd be a shame if I didn't bring this up. Max Muncy now has 14 home runs, which is a Dodgers franchise record in the postseason. He passed Corey Seager. He passed Justin Turner. Max Muncy stands alone at the very top. 14 career postseason home runs. He's up there now in the conversation as one of the greatest Dodgers third basemen. I mean, I still will probably have Justin Turner ahead of him, maybe Ron Say, but Max Muncy, I think he's cemented himself in the Dodgers Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, just first thing that comes to mind with him, I remember that walk-off home run in 2018 World Series in the 18th inning. He's had some great moments with us, obviously winning in 2020 and last year. And yeah, it was just great to see him tonight, actually have a great swing that, resulted in some runs. I mean, he's been getting robbed. That first game last night was with that crazy double play and the line drive he had that Andrew Vaughn caught. But yeah, it was nice to see him hit a homer tonight and be on top of that record book for the franchise.
Question coming from Dennis Gonzalez. Who do you trust more in high leverage going forward, Alex Vesey or Blake Trinan?
Yeah, I'd probably go with Vesey right now. Just, that's really pretty much been his role all season, getting out of high leverage situations, whether it be bases loaded or, second and third one out. He's pretty much been the go-to guy for us for most of the season in those spots. We have Sasaki now as the closer for the playoffs, which is great too. But yeah, I'd have to say Vestia. I mean, Trinan didn't get out of that last night. It was a little shaky, but yeah, I'd probably have to say Vestia with high leverage going forward.
I'm right there with you. I think Alex Vestia for sure should be the high leverage priority over Blake Trinan. I'm excited to see what Vestia is going to do in one of these games. I feel like he's going to have, if it's not in the NLCS, he's going to have a big World Series moment. That's just what Alex Vestia tends to do for the Dodgers. Even though Blake Trinan got the save yesterday, it still felt like he was very shaky. Bryce Terang should have allowed himself to get hit by the pitch, and he fortunately moved out of the way, which was to the Dodgers' benefit. I still don't trust Blake Trinan in save situations. And we talked about it last night that they probably weren't going to go to Roki Sasaki on a back-to-back, which Dave Roberts then confirmed they definitely weren't going to do that today. So I don't know what Yamamoto's game plan was going into this game or the mindset, but I certainly think he had sweet, sick revenge on his mind, because if you go back to his last start in Milwaukee, he only got 2 outs. Tonight, he got 27 outs. And he wasn't even that great in his last postseason start against the Phillies. So I think Yamamoto had a lot weighing on him to pitch the game of his life, and he delivered.
Yeah, I mean, you could just throw those regular season numbers between the teams out the window. I mean, Brewers went 6-0 in the regular season, but I mean, if you watch the first 2 games, you would think it would have been the other way around. So, yeah, when it comes to playoff baseball, Yamamoto's come up big for us, whether it be Game 5 last year, NLDS against the Padres when we knocked them out, and then against the Yankees in the World Series, he was outstanding too. So, it doesn't really surprise me, but yeah, it was great to see him, dominate on the road tonight and get that complete game.
I mean, I don't even know how Yamamoto can one-up himself at this point. A complete game, the first Dodgers pitcher to do it in 21 years. Like, in my Dave Roberts Friedman lifetime, I never thought I'd see Dodgers starters go in the distance. And it's just a complete flip of the switch from what we saw the last few years, especially way back in the day when guys like Rich Hill, they'd only let them go 5 innings and then pull certain starters like Tyler Anderson or Rich Hill because they didn't want to have them see guys third time through the order. Now they don't even hesitate. If these guys are dealing, they let Blake Snell go. They let Glass now go to an extent. They let obviously Yamamoto go. This is just awesome that we have a starting staff that can carry right now.
Yeah, I just love how Dave Roberts is seeing the game, and it's very clear, especially last night when the batters just looked out of sorts, and Dave Roberts didn't pull Blake Snell before like the 6th or 7th inning. I know when he was in Tampa, that used to happen all the time, even when he was doing good. So it's great to let Blake Snell go all the way as far as he could, and then obviously tonight with Yamamoto. So yeah, no, it's great to see. Hopefully it continues.
Call me _Astro. Question is, any concern with Ohtani at the plate? Frankly, I think Shohei Ohtani proved tonight that he's nearing a direction where he's gonna bust out of this slump. I mean, I know he went 1 for 5, but he did hit a ball 115 miles per hour, which was the hardest hit ball of the entire game, and he also had an RBI base hit. Would I like to see Ohtani hit some home runs? Absolutely. But tonight, I think was kind of a step in the right direction where he didn't look like he was completely lost. I know he had struck out 3 times, but the fact that Ohtani finally had an RBI, I think you got to take what you can get. And I mean, hey, at the end of the day, Ohtani scored as many runs as the Brewers did tonight. So I'll take it.
Yeah, no, I agree. And, even with the struggles he's had like the last 4 or 5 games, I mean, he still has 6 RBIs in 7 games this postseason. So, I mean, it's not like he's still not knocking in runs. He's just striking out more and, chasing pitches. But I think he'll make that adjustment. I think going back to LA, there'll be a change. I mean, obviously he struggled with the left-handed pitching, but yeah, I think he's going to break out of it. I think he'll have better swings going in the next couple of games. And yeah, I think he'll continue to start hitting the ball harder like he did tonight. And yeah, he'll just get better results. That's what I think is going to happen.
Who do you think the Brewers are going to go with for Game 3? Now that they're down 0-2, there's a lot of pressure on them. What would be your guess for who they roll out for this next game?
If I were them, I know they haven't really started him lately, but I would go at Mizorowski if I were them to, if not, pitch at least the first 3 or 4 innings. I mean, I would just flat out just start him. He's been really good. Like the last couple of times he's been out there, at least against the Cubs, he was very good. So if I were them, I would go with someone like that who can possibly neutralize some of the Dodger stars. And yeah, he throws heat, he throws gas, he throws consistently over 100. So if I were them, I would go with him. But they might do some type of hybrid bullpen game, like an opener again, and then maybe go with him for a few innings after.
That's what I'm thinking. So I definitely agree that Mizorowski is going to appear in this game. But now that they're trailing 0-2, I think there's a lot more pressure on the Brewers to keep the Dodgers off the board early in the game. And so I wouldn't be surprised if they go with an opener. Maybe they go back to Ashby because he's kind of been the Ohtani neutralizer. And then they flip it over to Mizorowski. As talented as Mizorowski is, and with the ceiling upside potential, he kind of fell off near the second half of the season. He started to have some command issues. His ERA ballooned up to the near mid-4s. Did he pitch well against the Cubs? Yes, but the Dodgers are not the Chicago Cubs. They are a much superior team. And so I think that the Brewers kind of have to play conservatively here and do what I just said and probably go with Ashby, maybe another reliever, then flip it over to Mizorowski. But I think the Dodgers are in a very prime position to take advantage of this rookie.
Yeah, I mean, if we just score early off him, I think it's going to take the fight out of their offense. I'm not saying the games are going to be easier, just, they'll absolutely just pound them. But yeah, I mean, as long as the Dodgers continue to do what they're doing as far as the starting pitching and just put together some good at-bats and, get some hits with runners in scoring position, I think we'll be fine.
What do you think of the Dodgers lineup, the way they kind of moved around the order tonight? I think it worked. So I'm guessing they're going to go back with the same lineup they had tonight against Freddie Peralta. And talking about Freddie Peralta, overall, I'm very happy with the performance they had against Peralta. I mean, Peralta at this point is a top 5 pitcher in the National League. and they got a few runs off him. Teoscar took him deep. Pages broke out of the slump, got an RBI double. Honestly, it never felt like Peralta really had command of this game. And then it kind of got to a situation for the Brewers where they didn't really go with their high leverage guys. They kind of pulled a Dave Roberts, in my opinion, and punted it near the later half of the game by going with Gasser and Tobias Myers and all that.
Yeah, I was interested to see, especially with them being down 0-1 in the series. You would think they would have been more aggressive, but with the way their offense wasn't scoring any runs, I mean, I could kind of see why they did it, but yeah, I mean, if you're down 0-1 at home, I feel like that's like probably pretty much like a Game 7 scenario where you have to like be ultra aggressive and try to win the game any way you can. But I guess they'll have to do that next game, and I expect them, to be ultra aggressive with the pen, but. Yeah, if we just play our game and Ohtani breaks out of his slump, yeah, I could see us being up 3-0 by the end of Thursday.
So I was just pulling up Tyler Glasnow's BVP to see kind of how he's done against Brewers in the past. He's honestly flat out owned these Brewers historically. They have a 141 total batting average against him, 26 strikeouts across 71 at-bats. Jake Bauers, 1 for 6, 1 home run. Jackson Churio, 1 for 7. William Contreras, 0 for 9. Sal Frelick, 0 for 5. Joey Ortiz, 0 for 4. Bryce Turin, 3 for 8. Andrew Vaughn, 0 for 5. And Christian Yelich, 1 for 14 with 7 strikeouts. The only guys that have actually ever taken him deep is Danny Jansen twice, who has not played and probably won't, and then Jake Bauers with his 1 home run. So if I'm a Brewers fan right now and I see that, I'm shitting my pants.
Yeah, I mean, their offense is definitely struggling. So, yeah, them having to go to LA now. I know it's like a 3:00 game Thursday, our time zone, but yeah, I would be concerned. I mean, their pitching hasn't really been that bad, in my opinion. It's been pretty solid, actually, but their offense isn't doing hardly anything right now, and for good reason. And I expect that to continue with their starters the way we're going. If Glasnow gets in any trouble, like after the 5th, 6th inning, we could always just go to our high leverage relievers that are well rested. So, Vestia's got plenty of rest now. Sasaki didn't pitch tonight; he gets the off day tomorrow. He'll be ready to go. Trinan, same thing. Banda. Yeah, we're in a definitely ideal spot to put the foot on neck.
And for anyone that might be worried, the Dodgers are playing an afternoon game technically, Tyler Glasnow's ERA is exactly the same as it is at night. 3.19 day ERA, 3.19 night ERA. 9 starts for both of them. So he's literally done this 50-50. So I'm not going to be concerned. I know that the one thing that's kind of plagued Glasnow, besides injuries obviously, is cramping. And I think in his most recent outing against the Phillies, he started to have some cramps again in the 5th or 6th inning, and that's why they pulled him after 82, 83 pitches. But yeah, if I'm Tyler Glasnow, make sure to stay hydrated.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not going to be, terribly hot. I know, like, it rained earlier today, like, throughout Southern California, so I think, like, game time will probably be around, like, 80 degrees. I don't think like the heat or anything will be playing a factor. But yeah, just as long as he doesn't cramp up, I expect him to have another good start like he did against Philly. But yeah, hopefully the offense really can get it going and, actually get some momentum, hopefully heading the game 3 and 4. So yeah, I'm excited. 2-0 going back home just like we did against Philly. It's definitely ideal.
Drop the like button for us. Smash that like button, I should say. If you have questions for the show, make sure to drop some questions in the live stream. We definitely want to hear you guys out, answer any questions you have. I mean, we're excited right now because the Dodgers are up 2-0 in the NLCS. On this day exactly a year ago, the Dodgers played the New York Mets in a game 2, and they got absolutely pummeled because that was when Landon Knack gave up a grand slam to Mark Vientos and all that. But here we are, exactly a year later. Game 2 in the books. This time the Dodgers are up 2-0 instead of in a 1-1 split. So I'm excited for this next home game stretch. I think the Dodgers fans are going to be absolutely electric. But 4-0 on the road now. And then at home, I guess we are 3-1. Yeah, 3-1. So I'm excited. We got Blue Madness who just popped in. He says, "Hey, Kevin, what's going on, Tim? Hope you're excited because the Dodgers are up 2-0. We just lost Nick. Hopefully he pops back in, but I can hold down the fort in the meantime. I think we had some connection issues on his end. Drop some questions for me. Hit that like button. This is supposed to be interactive, so I want to make sure you guys are heard. We've got Daniel Berry sports highlights. Go Dodgers, 2025 champs. Well, we still got 6 more wins that we need to solidify, but I like the thinking there, Daniel. It's an exciting time to be an LA sports fan. We're entering a territory that I'm excited to hopefully talk about when the Dodgers potentially seal this deal, but I'll hold off on that excitement in a little bit. So let me turn back to tonight's box score. So Dodgers win by a final score of 5-1. The Dodgers had 11 hits, 1 error. The Milwaukee Brewers, they had 1 run, 3 hits. And the 1 run obviously came from Jackson Chourio, and that was a leadoff home run. And then Yoshinobu Yamamoto did something that I think one other pitcher did in the 1950s, was give up a leadoff home run and then throw a complete game. Tonight's offense overall, I give them a B- because 11 hits, we'll take it. And it looks like we got Nick back in, so let me let him back in. Welcome back.
Yeah, sorry about that. Might have been, I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, great to be back.
No worries. Yeah, internets can be wonky sometimes. Anyways, I was just focusing on the Dodgers offense real quick. So I said giving them a B-, 11 hits, 5 runs. We'll take that. They do need to get better with runners in scoring position. They were 2 for 11, and in this series, they have not been great overall. What were they, like 1 for 8 yesterday? So I think they're like 3 for 19 with runners in scoring position. So we're up 2-0, and honestly, this series shouldn't be as close as it has been because overall, the Dodgers offense isn't running away with it like they should be.
Yeah, and even like the games we won against Philly, I mean, it wasn't like the offense was great in that series either, in my opinion. I think B- is about the grade I'd probably give them. And yeah, just the runners in scoring position has been, kind of frustrating to see because I know that the team can do it. I mean, they were good in the regular season, but I know it's playoff time. You're facing better teams and good pitchers, so I understand. But yeah, I mean, they can just be a little bit better with those situations, even if it's not a hit. Just like even getting a sacrifice fly, we left the bases loaded. Tonight in the 9th, that would have been nice to add some more runs there. But if we can just be better in that, I mean, I think yeah, like you said, it would be not even a close series right now as far as like the discrepancy. We've kind of kept them in the game with not being able to execute in that end.
This is a pretty fair question from callme_astro. Do you think the Brewers will move the lineup around for game 3? So this is the second consecutive game now where they have jumbled around the lineup. I know part of that was probably because lefty for Snell and then righty tonight with Yamamoto. But the issue with the Brewers is they don't have a lot of depth. So I'm not really sure what moves they can really make because it's not like the bottom of the order has had any guys that are standing out and should be moved up near the top of the order. I mean, maybe Sal Frelick hits higher. That's the one bat I could see maybe them moving him up. But I honestly don't know who they'd move down. Like, you're not moving down Chourio. He's been their hottest hitter in October. Terang has kind of struggled, so maybe they would move him down. But Contreras, Yelich, they seem locked in. I think Vaughn is someone they really like in the middle of the order. And then guys like Durbin, Bowers, Ortiz, they're just not that good, to be honest. So I don't really know what other options the Brewers truly have. But that's why I wasn't entirely that fearful of this team, to be honest, because they're pesky in terms of like they can get base hits, but they don't hit for a lot of power. They don't have a lot of depth, and their starting pitching is basically 1.5 starters. So to me, the Phillies were a way tougher matchup, and now the Dodgers, they're kind of just taking care of business against this Brewers team.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Phillies were definitely the most talented team they will face these playoffs, and getting able to get past them in 4 games is definitely impressive. Yeah, I really don't know what the Brewers can do as far as their lineup. I mean, with Glasnow in Game 3, if they want to be creative and try to put Yelich maybe in the leadoff spot. I mean, like you said, I don't really know what else they can do as far. It's definitely in the bottom of their lineup. I mean, there's not really much guys there you can move up, like you said.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they could maybe try to put Terang as a leadoff or Yelich, lefty to try to get on, first batter of the game against Glass now. But yeah, I mean, after like top 3-4 hitters, there's not really much else they can do, in my opinion.
Easy. Where did you get your Tops T-shirt? I am wearing a Tops Bazooka bubblegum shirt. So it was definitely sent to me by a brand, but I'm trying to remember which brand it was because I'm honestly blanking. It might have been freaking the kombucha company, Health Aid. It might have been from them, but I can't 100% remember. But moral of the story, I did not buy this shirt. It was sent to me and with some other Dodgers merch. So thank you to that brand, whoever you were. Sorry to forget, but thank you for the shout out, Easy. So where to even go next? I mean, normally me and Jake, we have things to complain about, but this is just a rare instance where like I don't have a single complaint tonight. Like the Dodgers played flawless baseball. The pitching was fantastic because Yamamoto sealed the deal. They're up 2-0 in the series. Like they've looked like the superior team the entire time. Like I'm honestly in a weird spot because I have nothing to complain about. So I guess I'll just give more credit to guys like Kike Hernandez, a.k.a. Kike Tober, who's hitting 379 with a 455 on base percentage, 517 slugging, got 2 runs in tonight by scoring, had 2 hits himself tonight, and he had an extra base hit. He had a double off Uribe, who is one of the Brewers' best pitchers out of the bullpen, but they've had no issues so far scoring runs off Uribe in back-to-back nights. So I'll just throw a random curveball question at you. Is Kike Hernandez a priority to re-sign at this point this offseason?
I mean, yeah, I would definitely try to re-sign him. I mean, his fingerprints are once again all over a win in October. I mean, that's what he does. I mean, just first game that comes to mind is last year when he hit the home run against Yu Darvish and, helped us win that game 5 winner take all against him. Yeah, I would definitely try to re-sign him. There's something to be said, even though his regular season numbers at this point, like you're not going to expect him to hit like over 250 at this point. Yeah, there's something to say in October. He always just comes to play, never lets the moon get too big for him. And yeah, his fingerprints all over another win like tonight.
Jacob Perez, do the Mariners make you guys nervous? Everybody says they're the team of destiny.
I wouldn't really say that makes me nervous. I mean, yeah, we did sweep them at T-Mobile last series of the season. But no, they definitely have talent. I mean, they have a catcher that hit 60 homers, Cal Raleigh, who I think should be the MVP. I know he probably won't get it, but there's something to be said that he could win it. But no, they're talented. They have, Cal Raleigh, Julio, even Polanco. He's done really good for them, Naylor, and their starting pitching is really good.
Yes.
I wouldn't say better than ours, but their starting pitching is probably, I would have said, probably the second best going into the playoffs. So yeah, we end up, that ends up being the matchup. I wouldn't say nervous, but I definitely think there'd be some good baseball being played.
Yeah, the Mariners are similar to they're similar to the Dodgers in the sense that they really ride their starting pitching. Between Logan Gilbert, Luis Castillo, George Kirby, Bryce Miller, and now they've got Brian Wu healthy. They've got 5 really good starters and a nasty closer in Andres Munoz. Do I think they are better than the Dodgers? No. Do I think their lack of postseason experience would come into play if they were to face the Dodgers? Absolutely. I think that's where the Dodgers are going to outshine Seattle if these two teams do indeed match up in the World Series, because the Dodgers have been there multiple times. They've done it. Seattle, on the other hand, they have not. So I really do think the Dodgers' October experience will be the difference in the series if these two teams play. Randy Arozarena is a good call out. He is the one guy who just went off for the Tampa Bay Rays in 2020. So I'm not going to sleep on him by any means. But the other guys, they showed that even if it was the last 3 games of the regular season, they were able to keep them in check overall. And I trust their starting pitching. But the Mariners are certainly a talented team. And if they do take care of business against the Toronto Blue Jays, well, they deserve to be there. So I'm not gonna, kind of cut them short or sleep on them by any means, because I do think they are, they've proven they're the best team in the American League at this point. Eric Flores, do you think they will face elimination this October? I don't see it.
Definitely a good question. If the starting pitching keeps it up, no, I don't think so. I think, I don't think they'll even lose more than 2 games if the starters continue like this. Let's hope they don't have to. So, I think it's looking good right now.
Yeah, I mean, these are the type of questions that I feel like are landmines and a little bit of superstition. So I'm not comfortable answering that to an extent, but I will say that the Dodgers should not find themselves in any elimination. They have not been in that scenario at all this entire October. So why start now? So they're doing what they need to do against the Brewers. 2 more wins and they're in the World Series, and then we'll find out who we're facing. Toronto's not dead yet. They could still come back potentially. I don't see any other questions at the moment, but if people do have questions, feel free to drop them below. Nick, pass it back over to you. Any random takes, anything random Dodgers that you wanted to get off your chest? Anything from the postseason at all that you feel like just discussing right now?
I mean, off the top of my head, I mean, I know like the games in July and August were pretty brutal to watch. I was one of those fans too that was, a little worried going into the playoffs. But to be honest with you, when we swept Seattle, I felt a lot better going into the playoffs. Sweeping a team like that who was still playing for something, they clinched the division, but then they're still going for the 1 seed against over the Blue Jays. But when we swept them against a team that was playing for something, that really actually like completely switched my confidence in, knowing that this team could do really good in the playoffs. And right now it's showing. So, I mean, that's just off the top of my head. 2 months of, poor baseball and, a lot of games that we blew and probably should have won. And, including games against like the Angels and teams like that, the Orioles, Pirates. But no, I mean, seeing how they are now, it's great to see. And I think, sweeping Seattle, that really kind of jump-started like the momentum, in my opinion.
Definitely agree with you. JRM, predictions for Glasnow in Game 3. So I think this is a good segue to kind of get towards the final stride of the show. So let's talk about how Game 3 goes. So I'll start. For me, I think Tyler Glasnow, he'll go at least 6 innings for the Dodgers. The big thing for Glasnow, like any start for this guy, you got to neutralize the walks. That's kind of what has kind of killed Glasnow in the past, is those free passes. So if he avoids walks and he just sticks to his game and generates swings and misses and strikeouts, I have my total faith in Tyler Glasnow to pitch a great gem. So I'm going to say 6 innings from Glasnow. The Dodgers will then turn to the bullpen. I do think you might see 3 relievers. You might see Sheehan for an inning. You might see Vesia for an inning. And then I think they'll go back to Roki Sasaki to close it out if the score is close.
Yeah, I would agree. I was going to say 6 innings as well. I know like his game is predicated on, hitters, chasing outside the zone. And the Brewers are a pretty patient team for the most part, although they were a little more aggressive tonight, which I think was to their detriment. I would say 6 innings. And then, the high leverage relievers will be ready. Roki Sasaki will be ready to go. I mean, I probably foresee it being like 6 innings, giving up 1 or 2 runs. And it's probably going to be another tight game, like for the most part. But if the Dodgers can get some hits with runners in scoring position, I think we can pull away late and hopefully not have to use Roki.
So we were flying under the assumption that Mizorowski would potentially be the bulk guy for the Brewers. The Dodgers don't have a great track record against him. It was also a one game, so a small sample size. There is a possibility that they do just lean on their vet, Jose Quintana, and they decide to go with him in Game 3. So if they do go with Quintana, I'm just looking through some Dodgers recent success, or I should say lifetime success against him. Andy Pages kind of stands out to me. He's 4 for 10 with 2 doubles. So if Quintana does get the bulk, I'm just going to call my shot and say Andy Pages will have a big Game 3.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they go with Quintana. Yeah, definitely a right-handed bats. I could see having good at bats against him, like you said, especially Pajes. So that would probably be the pick to click there if they do go with Quintana.
Great blast from the past from Alfonso Lucio. How do you give a guy 325 million that hasn't played in Major League Baseball? That was quoted by Josh Reddick. You want to talk about a baseball take that has aged poorly? It's aging about as bad as Josh Reddick's MLB career. Guy is a clown.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he watched the game tonight and saw what a postseason pitcher is supposed to look like. So yeah, it was great to see.
MWG, what's the key to maintaining momentum, not just the series, but to win the World Series too?
Yeah, just hit with runners in scoring position. Starters keep doing what they're doing. Yeah, I think it's just if the Dodgers can just hit more with runners in scoring position, like I think you'll see the best of this team. I don't think they played their best baseball offensively, obviously yet, and yeah, as long as the starters keep doing what they're doing, um, yeah, just keep the momentum going with the starting pitching, and hopefully the offense, catches up.
Yeah, I think the big key to keeping momentum right now is that the Dodgers starting rotation is as focused as I think I've ever seen any Dodgers starting rotation in the history of my lifetime. You had Blake Snell, who was just up all night and then in the game studying his competition. I wouldn't be surprised if Yoshinobu Yamamoto had that same mindset. Tyler Glass now, he's looked locked in. And then Shohei Ohtani, they're trying to do all they can to limit his innings. That's why he's going in game 4 so that they don't have to worry about him pitching twice in a series on short rest. So honestly, I think the key to maintaining momentum right now is the Dodgers starting staff just continuing to neutralize their opposition and taking the crowds, whether it's in Philadelphia or now in Milwaukee in this case, out of the game. And they've done that for the vast majority of these games. Now they go to Dodger Stadium. And so I think to Nick's point, this is where the Dodgers bat. It's important for them to get an early lead so that the fans are heavily invested.
Yeah, I mean that I could just remember that game 3 against Philly last week. The crowd just seemed very just out of it, quiet. I mean, I know it was like an early game, but yeah, that's I want to see us score runs early, just to get that crowd going, man. And just basically take the life out of the Brewers and go up 3-0. So it's just like they know the series is over and they know it's going to be tough for them. So yeah, I'm hoping to see the offense, have a breakout game.
All right. Well, appreciate you joining me tonight, Nick. That was an awesome game to recap. Any final thoughts before we get on out of here?
Yeah, let's go up 3-0. Just keep playing good baseball. Hitters don't let the moment, just don't think of it being too big. Just think of it as another game. Kiki Hernandez has had a great approach to that. Just that's just what he does in October. He's just a baller in October. Yeah, just hopefully the hitters, have good at bats. Hopefully luck, goes to their side as far as some plays not being made by the Brewers defense, because their defense has been for the most part really really good these first 2 games. If their defense did break down a couple of those plays, it would have been like a lot worse for them. So yeah, let's go up 3-0. That's just the next mindset. Take it a game at a time.
Love this post from John Clark of NBC Philadelphia. The Dodgers are just rolling through the Brewers and the Phillies, who had the 2 best records in baseball. The Brewers have a total of 2 runs, losing both games at home to LA. I can't even think of a time where the Dodgers just flat out are owning the superior teams like they have in 2025, which I think what we were talking about earlier, like I had some hesitations, I had some fears, I had some doubts about this Dodgers team as a whole. There were just a lot of inconsistencies. They were blowing games. I mean, the last time Yoshinobu Yamamoto tried to throw a complete game was when he was taking that no-hitter in Baltimore, and he gave up a home run to Jackson Holiday, which would have been the final out, and then they go to the bullpen, and then they blow it. So tonight, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, not a no-hitter, obviously, not a shutout, but a complete game, 1-run game. in a playoff game in the NLCS, I'll take it. But I mean, it's a testament to this Dodgers team right now where they were the 3 seed. They're the only team in the entire dance left that had to play the wild card series, and they just looked the most. They look the most ready. They have the momentum. They look ready to play every game. For the most part, fatigue has not seemed to got into them yet. So I think that's, again, credit to Dave Roberts and the training staff for keeping these guys fresh. This is a team that just played in the World Series last year. They had to play in Korea. Now they had to play in Japan this year. And they're playing more games, more innings than anyone. And yet they look like the more fresh team between the Dodgers and Brewers, who the Brewers had a bye.
Yeah, it's just a testament to the organization as a whole. When you really invest in the minor league system and you have depth, I mean, you can withstand, 1 or 2 months of, struggling baseball and still being able to win a division. To me, that's just a testament to the Dodgers being a superior organization to everyone else in baseball right now. And it's great to see. I mean, this is a great era for Dodger fans. Hope it continues. And yeah, I'm looking forward to Thursday already. Let's go up 3-0.
All right, you can follow Nick on X at Dodger Dougan. He goes by Nick Wright, and he drops awesome Dodgers content in terms of, takes, game-by-game action. He's also a Chargers and LA Kings fan, so true LA native.
Yeah, Chargers aren't doing so great right now, but this is definitely postseason baseball time. So let's hope it ends in another championship.
All right. Well, if you guys are listening on the audio feed, make sure to hit that subscribe button, whether it's Apple, Spotify, leave a review, drop a comment if you're watching on YouTube, and make sure to hit that like button on your way out. All right. Dodgers up 2-0. We'll be back after game 3.